Man, what a roller coaster it's been if you are invested in Sphere 3D. At the beginning of this week, I'm sure many people were excited to hear the news of them getting these top-notch miners. But now we're hearing speculation as to whether or not these miners are actually legitimate. So in this video, I'm going to talk about these miners and share my thoughts on the recent news that has come out and share whether or not I still trust Sphere 3D and Griffin Digital Mining. Alright, so for a quick recap, here's what we got. On February 3rd, Sphere 3D announced that they will grow their Bitcoin capacity to 32 exahash through the purchase of 60,000 NuMiner NM440 Bitcoin miners. This was huge news at the time because it would make them one of the largest Bitcoin mining companies in the world. These miners have a hash rate apparently double their competitor, the Antminer S19 Pro Plus, and are 75% more energy efficient than the average Bitcoin miner. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we need to cover in order to take an educated guess as to whether or not all these companies were at fault. Alright, so first we got the actual miners, who suspiciously look exactly like the Cerebras Systems product. And guess who is the one that made a statement about it? The manufacturer themselves. And here's what they said. We are aware of a startup crypto mining company using a misappropriated, altered image of the Cerebras CS2 product for their own business purposes. And this message scattered like wildfire. In a couple of days, there were numerous articles written not only about NuMiner, but also the trustworthiness of Sphere 3D and Griffin Digital Mining. And then to solidify that these pictures were altered, Cerebras goes on to say, this image improperly passes off our CS2 as their own product. As you can see by the Cerebras logo still visible at the bottom of the image. We are not working or otherwise affiliated with this company. We are taking steps to address this situation. Now this information was released just 2 days after the original video that I made. And in that video, I said that if this contract was legit, then this would be great for the company. But we need to take it with a grain of salt. And well, here we are. So now we are all on the outside wondering who's involved in this possible scam, and this is where I want to dive deeper. In the original article by Sphere 3D, they said that the chair of the NuMiner Global Board of Directors, Anthony Melman, will be appointed to the board of directors at Sphere 3D in March of this year. Now my question to all of this is, why would Sphere 3D do such a thing if they know that the image of the miner was simply altered by adding just a splash of color? Like, out of honesty, this was either extremely ignorant of them to not do their research, or there was something else that they needed to do in order to push up prices prior to the merger. And that is where I want to move to the next piece of the puzzle. Now there's a certain number of consecutive days that the company needs to hold over $4 a share after a vote has been made in order to complete the merger. So with this information, there's also skepticism that Sphere 3D did this as a way to boost the share price. Right now, the company is about $1.50 under the price target. So there are many people that believe that this was a made-up deal in order to push the share price up to $4, especially when you think that this deal was worth over $1.7 billion. But if the statement is true that the company needs to be over $4 a share for a certain number of days after the vote and we haven't even gotten the vote yet, that would mean that the company would have to delay this merger again. And I'm sure that would tank the stock easily down to $2, if not under $2. But like I said, if you have a more accurate explanation for this, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. The second thing that I find curious is the delivery of these miners. Sphere 3D will receive 12 pre-production NM440s for final evaluation, and testing will be completed on or before June 1st of 2022. But according to NuMiner's website, the NM440 has the world's most powerful and environmentally friendly miner. And they don't even have a picture on their website, so we don't even know if this NM440 even exists. We even have a Chinese journalist known as Wu Blockchain say, NuMiner announced its new Bitcoin mining machine NM440 uses Taiwan semiconductor chips and cooperates with Foxconn and Xilinx. The authenticity of the data is questionable. And now we have shorts that have asked BTL, who is apparently the lab that certified these miners, to respond as to whether or not these miners are legit. And they denied this claim. Plus, BTL apparently doesn't even test hash rate or power efficiency ratios. Like I said, this is coming from a short seller, so it needs to be taken with a grain of salt. But this goes to show that NuMiner and especially Sphere 3D need to say something, or this is going to get even uglier really soon. Now, sources say that NuMiner does have mining equipment. But like I said, when we go to their website, they now have no pictures for the NM440s. But I honestly don't believe that these miners exist until I get a report from both NuMiner and Sphere 3D. But this is why in my previous video, I said that we need to be extremely cautious when investing in this company because of all the uncertainty of this deal and the merger. This goes to show that it's not a good idea to put a ton of money in these pre-mergers because anything could happen. And personally, I still trust Griffin Digital because I've been doing research on them for over 8 months now. And after listening to their interviews, they certainly know what they're talking about. Plus, with all the connections that they have, it doesn't make sense for them to pull a stunt like this. Now, I'm not just gonna let Griffin Digital get off the hook, because I would have expected them to have at least somewhat of a say when it came to buying these miners. But this management team has too much knowledge and connections to not come back from this. As of now, I don't trust Sphere 3D unless we get an explanation for all of this. Trust me, I want these miners to be real, and maybe they do have a product, but there needs to be actual proof of the product's existence before I start trusting Sphere 3D and NuMiner again. So what have I done with all of my shares? As crazy as it sounds, I'm still holding them, and the reason why is because there's still a small chance that Griffin Digital will get through this merger. The other thing that considers my cost basis is super low, and so I'm barely losing anything by holding it. But with all that said, I completely understand anyone who wants to sell right now. I think all the things that I've said are valid reasons for someone to get out of this company. But I also believe that this brings up a very important lesson. When it comes to pre-mergers and pre-revenue companies, it is so important to make this only a small portion of someone's portfolio. What we saw at the end of 2020 going into 2021, where pre-revenue companies went up massively, was a fluke. And we can see that many people left the markets this past year because of this. So if you are interested in pre-revenue or a pre-merger company, please make sure you do your own full research and consider the amount of risk you can handle before investing in them. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you don't mind, would you consider destroying that like button? Helps this channel immensely, as well as comment down below your thoughts on this whole scandal. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. And if you are new here, hit that subscribe button down below. That way you are notified when new content comes out. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you in the next one.